Hello there, everybody. This is going to be my first recorded league with The Rock. I've played Rock a lot in the past, mainly before getting into Jund, because in paper, buying the extra lands was the difference between playing Rock and playing Jund. But I mean, ever since I got the lands, I've been on the Jund train since. But going to be revisiting an old favorite. Um, the I guess big difference between Jund and Rock is going to be we're missing out on a lot of the card advantage engines. Things like Run and Six mainly, and then also Bloodbraid Elf is a big miss. But to counteract losing those engines, we have another really strong engine in Dark Confidant. Dark Confidant obviously available in the Jund decks, but kind of been waning in popularity due to Ren and Six being as powerful as it is. Ren and Six also very good against Dark Confidant, but the two working side by side together also very powerful. But so we're going to be playing the four Dark Confidant, and as another value generating engine, we're going to be playing two Lurrus of the Dream Den. We're going to combo this with any of our 2-mana creatures, and then assuming we don't have a creature to get back, we also have draw card things to loop like Mishra's Bauble and Nile Spellbomb. The removal suite I'm running today is a 1/1 split between Trophy Decay and 4 Fatal Pushes. Additionally, I'm playing a single Maelstrom Pulse, and then if you want to count all 5 Lilianas as removal, I'm playing 5 Lilianas as well. And I'm playing just 1 copy of Kalitas at the very tippy top to go over the top versus mid-range matchups, as well as catch us back up versus aggro. Let's take a look at the current metagame. So Uropile's still in first, no big surprise there. Lurrus aggro was previously in third, but subverted Blitz, switching second and third slot. And then we have this surprising thing right here, Jund actually in fourth, the highest it's been in a long time, at least 3 months. And then Amulet Titan also creeping up. Gruul actually getting knocked down a peg or two. What's up, Nick? How's it going? And also Dredge creeping up, but it's been kind of stagnant here. But then blue-white control around the 8th slot as it has been. Mono-red Prowess getting its own categorization now, apart from blue-red Blitz. It's always been categorized differently, but now this version of it has crept in the top 12. And then I guess with the integration of all these new combo decks and aggro decks, Tron's getting pushed down, and the white-green Primeval Titan Aether Vial deck also maintaining some amounts of popularity. So let's take a look at our sideboard with all that in mind. Playing another Kalitas for more creature matchups and mid-range mirrors. If we play anything super aggro-y, we've got Collector Brutality. As another grinding tool along with the Kalitas, I've got Bitter Blossom as well as 2 Tireless Trackers. For the creature combo decks, we've got stuff like Plague Engineer. If we play anything mean playing islands, we've got the Chokes. And then for any more of the Titan-esque or land-centric decks like Uro, we've got Fulminator Mage. And then Damping Sphere, just a pretty nice backup versus things like Tron if we see it, and then obviously versus things like Storm. So with that said, let us jump into a league. Yeah, I did see that card, Nick. It looks pretty sweet. I think it'll see some amount of play, maybe even in Modern. Are you referring to the 3-mana instant? So what land I play first here is not completely clear. I think I do want to get the Nile Spellbomb down. I want to have the option of Fatal Push on turn 2. And I also want to have the option of Liliana on turn 3. So if I go Field of Ruin, Spellbomb, I can't Liliana on turn 3 if I play Quagmire in 2 and have Fatal Push up on turn 2. So I think what I'm going to do is just play Bloodstone Mire and go for an Overgrown Tomb. This means if I draw a green creature, I have the ability to play it. Your volume's on. On your phone. So it's looking like it's Prowess. And it is. Alright, so Liliana going to be pretty strong. And the spell bombs should be pretty important for keeping the opponent off of insane stuff like a Bedlam Reveler. So his hand set up pretty well to defend versus the enemy. Alright, so looks like a pretty fine turn to lay a Quagmire. And then I'll let them make all of their decisions before Fatal Pushing the Soul Scar. Inquisition, not a bad draw, but I think I want to deploy a Liliana and just Edict. Keep some pressure off of me. So I guess Spire Bluff Canal was the draw from the opponent. So what I don't want to see now is a Stormwing entity. That would mean it's the fourth threat that I have to deal with. Not even really set up to deal with their third one very well. And they top with the Scry, which is on the scary side. Alright, and they've got the fourth threat. Disgusting. So I'm really going to need to find some removal. Or else fourth threat is going to get me. Can use the spell bombs to cycle if I really want. Alright, Decay is excellent. Unfortunately, I cannot Inquisition and cast Abrupt Decay, but I think Abrupt Decay is a higher priority. I can use my Field Everyone to just play the Spell Bomb. And then I'll pass and intend on Abrupt Decaying the Soul Scar. They bottomed with it. So they're at 2 spells in the yard, nowhere close to Reveler yet. This is pod racing, yep. Jeez, more Stormwings. Come on, Maelstrom Pulse. So dead to 3 spells from the opponent, which is not even that hard. It did go bottom though. So I think I'm just going to Inquisition plus start Confidant here. I could end up just dying if they can put some number of spells together. Jeez. Just another threat. Alright, well, I'll take their other threat. I think I'm just going to pop Spell Bomb. Which I guess means I should do it now, because if I draw the land and it's a tap land, I'll want to be able to play it. So their hand is just Gut Shot. And they went bottom with the Scries, so they may not be able to kill me. Would really need to find the Maelstrom Pulse. or lands. Yeah, that's a. I thought you were talking about Nick. Yeah, the card seems very good. It's a lot of mana, but the versatility is there. It's a fairly easy casting cost too, with just a single black, right? Oof. Alright, so it looks like we're dying here. Any spell off the Metamorphose just kills us. We know they already got a gut shot. They paid life with that? You gotta like light up the stage or something. I mean, they don't actually need to light up the stage. They don't actually need to pay the life. We know we're just dead. More threats. Yeah, there's so many threats in this deck. Yeah, the kicker's triple black. I mean, at 7 mana, you probably have triple black by then anyway. Alright, so I think I want a Kalitas here. Brutality also seems good. Don't think this is a choke matchup. They don't really have that many islands. And the ones that they do have, they can sacrifice to Lava Darts anyway. Alright, so I'm taking out Thoughtseize. I mean, Thoughtseize does take the Stormwings, though. And then they play Lava Dart, so Bob looking a little on the weak side. I mean, Bitter Blossom is something I could block pretty much every single turn and block their flyers. It doesn't really help if they've got a crash through. And it is a little on the slow side, but it can start net gaining us life. I'll give it a shot. It's probably better than another Bob. Sounds great. Keep. I guess there's a consideration to playing around Blood Moon. We can only get one of our basics. I'm assuming Swamp is the more important one. I'll just go Overgrown Tomb tapped. You're on the play, so Blood Moon's not like a huge concern. These Lurises should do some work too, which should be nice. Alright, and if they have something like Mutagenic Growth or Gut Shot to save whatever threat they play, I think I'm okay with them just using it. Like, I could Decay to ensure that that doesn't get saved. Alright, does Push change that equation at all? I mean, I'm not even sure what I would be discarding. It's probably the second copy of Luris, but it's my only threat. I do want to take an instant or sorcery out of their hand. Maybe it's just too greedy to use the Brutality now. Like, maybe I should use the Brutality to kill a creature when their hand is much smaller and it's less likely they have it. That said, I think I'm just happy casting Abrupt Decay. It's the most mana efficient play, and then next turn I can use the Brutality and the Fatal Push if I want. Yeah, let's do that. So I'll just plan on decaying. Alright, so now we may actually want to be scared of the Blood Moon. This Blooming Marsh won't come in untapped. if we play it next turn, but this may be our last chance to get a swamp in. We could just Brutality first, and then see if we even need to worry about it. Gutshot doesn't save their Sprite Dragon anymore. It's only Mutagenic Growth. So I think I'm gonna escalate this once. Reveal your hand, then you give -2/-2. You. And then, I mean, I guess I really don't actually need a third land, so I could just discard the Booming Marsh. I think I really want the backup Luris if they kill this first one. Yeah, I'll just discard the Marsh. Wow, we bricked on the second mode at least. We got a lot of lands. Alright, so we get to push this Swift Spear, then hopefully Luris can go uncontested for a little while.
She's one of the people paid to come. Sorry.
So I'll get the swamp. I guess best draw here is probably just Mishra's Bauble. It's something I can cast off of the Luris immediately. Trophy not the worst. Got to answer to a Stormwing now if that's the thing that ends up haunting me. Liliana, a pretty good draw. I'll attack first. Don't want to give him any kind of information. And I think I'm actually inclined to just hold Liliana. I really don't want to play it and plus it discard a spell I want to keep anyway. I also don't want them playing a creature that will attack it with haste. I think I want to use it to just come in after the fact. Like after something's been played, and I'll just edict it reactively. That's fine. Stormwing. Alright, so I can trophy this, or I can just untap and Liliana it. I think I want to Liliana it. Although trophying it would mean I get to untap and play this Luris, which is probably what I want to do. So I'll trophy it so I can untap and play Luris. It went bottom. I don't know, one card in their hand is a mountain. So pretty nice that I've got the trophy here, as opposed to a decay. Usually I dislike trophy. What's up, Eric? But here it's good. Bobble? Not a bobble, that's fine. No red today, not for this league. Although apparently Jund is the 4th highest meta share at the moment. So that's pretty exciting. Still think I want to use these Lilianas as just reactive edicts. Like, I don't really want to play a Liliana and discard my other Liliana, because then the second one is no longer good for a removal spell. But I also don't want to play Liliana and just have it get bolted. I'll hold them. I mean, if they had a bolt, they probably would have just killed a Luris. Alright, now I don't know anything about their hand. Stormwing the hard way. Yep. So at their end step, I'll blow up their steam vents with the Field of Ruin just to make my mana a little bit better.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa file.
2 mana red land destruction. There's actually a better one, I think. The black one. They spoiled the black one. It's 1 in a black and it enchants a land. A lot like Spreading Seas. It makes their land a rainbow pain land, but that also produces colorless. So in case they have Blood Moon, I'll get a forest here. Although, if they have Blood Moon, I'll want double black for this. I want double black for the cards that I already know are in my hand. So I'll get the Swamp. Yeah, the 2 mana red land destruction one's good, but I think the black one might be better just because it forces the opponent. Like they get a land anyway, right? But it forces the opponent to at least use the if they want colors, they have to pay a little bit of life. Where like you're playing against Tron, for example, if you cast the red thing on their land, they just get their forest, not a big deal. But if you enchant their thing and you make it a pain land, they'll have their green, but they have to pay the life for it. Alright, I think I'll keep this forest in my hand as discard fodder. Again, I don't really want to discard second Liliana because it's basically my last removal spell that I have right now. But I do want a plus. So that way I can load up a second removal spell just in play. Yeah, that's true. The red one you can Snapcaster back. But like from a Jund perspective, when that can't play Snapcaster, I like the black one. Yeah, I know Nick is a blue mage, so he'll like the flashback potential. Deal. Interesting that they paid life with that. Oh, is this a Reveler? They just wanted max mana? Jeez. Alright, well, we've got Liliana for it. They didn't want to opt first? I guess it doesn't matter, because they just discarded anyway. So backup threat would be great, especially one that costs 2 mana. How about more Lilianas? You're a blue player, Nick. Don't lie to me. Every time I talk to you, you're trying to build like some Grixis pile in Standard. Although you do like your werewolves, don't you? Those are Gruul. All right, they didn't have a one mana way to deal with Alaris because they played a Steam Vents tapped. Yep. Another Reveler? Jeez. Alright, they're kind of drawing hot now. I mean, they were drawing pretty soft for a while. Another threat's going to be a headache. Any way to kill this Luris is going to be a headache. Why do I feel like my computer just dimmed? One sec. Oh, it's not charging. Give me a sec. There we go. Yeah, they can make it back from this. They drew 2 Revelers. So they could do it. Reveler is like their best card against me if I haven't found Grave Hate, which I haven't. And that Lava Dart gets to kill the Lurrus. Which I'm assuming they want to do. I mean, they're back on empty now. They got 1 card left and an Islet in play. And right on time, there's the Spell Bomb. So we can Liliana to get rid of their last card, and then Liliana to Edict something else. I think I'm going to empty my hand before that happens. Well, actually, I can't. If I didn't play the Forest, I could have. I guess I'll just have to settle with an Edict. Keep this one. And then in case I draw another Reveler somehow, I should pop the Spell Bomb. Guess I'll just do it now. I mean, I already played a land, so doing it now doesn't actually have any value. Yeah, I guess I'll upkeep it. No, this is bad. I'll do it now. I really don't want them to just have have the ability to play another Reveler if they hit one. But yeah, I mean, they're back on empty. They're at 2. They can also just hard cast a Reveler pretty much. Oh, the Venice Euroland is pretty sweet. Yeah, for in my paper Jund deck, I have a Euroland as well. I've got one from Germany. All right, well they're officially ahead now. We didn't draw very well. Or we didn't draw what we needed in time. Triple Liliana was actually fine. I mean, they're at 2. We could just draw Brutality and drain them for 2. There are 2 in the deck. Pushes at least something. No bolts here. Gonna have to be Brutality as far as burn is concerned. Drawing the 2 of those. So we're gonna keep this mini game going. This is game 2. We lost the first one. Yeah. The opponent in the first game had something like 6 threats, and we can only beat the first 3. That buys back Alaris, doesn't it? But they do have a Lava Dart in their yard, but I think Alaris may be worth more. We milled 2 lands. Alright, let's Luris. And then cast a Spell Bomb. Yeah, I think the main thing why Liliana Last Hope doesn't see play in things like Jund anymore is as far as the giving a creature one less toughness job is concerned, Ren and 6 just does it better. But I mean, Rock doesn't get to play Ren and 6, so here's the Liliana. So I'm assuming they're attacking me. They've got the Lava Dart to deal with the Liliana. There's no attack? They just really not have a way to kill my Lyris? They're gonna let me plus the Liliana? Alright. Alright, so any prowess trigger means that their Bedlam Reveler still gets to eat my my Lyris. So let's just cast the Ooze, which was a good draw. Aether Gust it. Let's put it on top. We can just draw it with Spellbomb. They have 2 creatures in their yard. We have just Lyris. So I mean, if we exile our own yard, we can replay. We can have 2 things to eat, but I want to be able to replay my Spell Bomb with the Bedlam Reveler, so let's just not be greedy. I mean, they have to Lava Dart now or not get to use it. Shooting me, okay. I mean, we only have 1 thing to eat with the Lyris for in terms of creatures, so I think I want to just get this Spell Bomb down too and only have up 1 green. Yeah, if I were the opponent last turn, I think I would have attacked. They even had the Lava Dart, so it seems like just a good attack. And they topped with this with the opt. Scary. And I guess if I'm choosing between activating Ooze and just drawing a card, I should probably draw a card. Bolt target Lyris. Yeah, that makes some sense. Cling. Alright, that's a redraw. I can minus the Liliana, just buy back the Lyris now, and I'm thinking I want to do it. Ideally, we hit like a creature that we can cast with Lyris. We don't, but we still have the Spell Bomb. There goes the Brutality. I guess I can just do this now. If I draw a creature, I'm going to really want to play it. There's the creature. Alright, well, it looks like we stabilized after their Bedlam Reveler into Bedlam Reveler Volley. We did it. Oof. Well, their early flood meant we had enough time to stabilize, but then they just about pulled out of it. We were at 30 life for a time. On the draw, I like Dark Confidant even less. Would love to be able to get it out. I mean, I guess Tracker is on the slow side. But I mean, it doesn't get Lava Darted once. At least, but not without them sacking something. I could Plague Engineer. It'll trade with just about anything on the ground. Also, I guess it can name stuff like the Stormwing Sprite. So it'll just die when it enters. Like, it's a lightning rod for something. It lacks the closing power that Tracker has, but I'm not exactly low on closing power right now. Maybe I really want the Thoughtseizes just to break up the busted draws. Still think I don't want anything that loses life, though. Oh, hey, we have the sideboard tech. Keep. So pretty lucky that we get to Inquisition on turn 1. Ooh, we even drew a Kalitas. Okay, this game's shaping up. Hopefully we can disable a turn 2 Stormwing if that's the kind of thing they've got. Alright, they don't have it. Their Aether Gust actually looks kind of silly in the face of what our hand is shaping up to be. I'll take the second threat because I don't really have removal for them. I am on Rock because it's a change of pace, not because I think it's better. I think Jun's probably better, but this is different, and it's one of my old favorites. So I figured I'd give it another whack. Ooh, Glyph is good, but that gets Aether Gusted, and it also looks awkward in the face of their Soul Scar. I think I just want to Bitter Blossom now. It'll start kind of gaining me life. I mean, if there's a turn to play Bitter Blossom, it's turn 2. And they could use spells on fairies if they want, but I doubt they want to do that. Please don't Stormwing me. Alright, well they didn't make blue, so they didn't have it yet. Alright, well now they might make blue. Crap, did they draw it? Alright, they didn't. Whew. So I get to play Glyph as a 4/5. Unfortunately, that means that they're just gonna like cast a Flame Slash or a Bolt on it. But I mean, if they do that, that seems fine with me. Next turn I can shock and play a Kalitas if I want to. I mean, if this Glyph dies, well, I'll have the Luris to get it back. Yeah, let's Glyph now, play a Quagmire. Go. And then I do intend on just throwing the Tarmogoyf under the bus. Yeah, the deck feels really smooth. The mana definitely feels smoother than Jund. Here comes the Flame Slash, I guess. I'll have an 0/1 with the Tarmogoyf. Oh, blue-red? Yeah, blue-red is really sick. I'm actually in the process of building it. I've got it right here. Ta-da. Got me some of those. The old lava darts. I don't know if you can see it. Kinda. Alright, I have an 0/1. Bedlam Reveler is going to be a pretty good draw for the opponent sometime soon. That makes me nervous. Alright, Glyph can block. I mean, Fairy might be worth saving more damage later, but I'll cash in the 2 life. Bitter Blossom gained me 1 so far. Any removal would be good. Obviously, Pulse the best. Brutality is not bad. The issue is I know they have Lightning Bolt, so it's kind of like no matter what I do first is gonna get countered. I mean, if I Brutality and take the Bolt, or if I Brutality target a thing, target them, I'm gonna get to take at minimum a Gust, and they're gonna have to use Dispel to defend it. I mean, that means I'm not playing one of my more one of my more mana hungry plays. But if I play a creature, it's just gonna get bolted and it's gonna actually get minus counters. So I think brutality is the only like solid play, and I do want to escalate it. So I guess I should discard something. Don't know what I'd be discarding though. I mean, this is effectively taking two things out of their hand. So that. Don't think I can discard Kalitas. I don't really want to discard Lyris, so I guess bye-bye Plague Engineer. I really want the land to cast the Kalitas next turn. Wow, they didn't respond because they have 2 bolts. I mean, still responding would have taken care of their thing. All right, so let's just take a bolt. So they got kind of punished for F6ing. Play this tapped. Bolt the rogue, sure. So I guess here comes a Sprite Dragon. Makes sense if they don't want to just get it chumped. I mean, we've got 2 powerful life-gaining creatures in the queue. Alright, I think I'm just going to Kalitas here. It's the most mana efficient. They could obviously just burn it. But I mean, they could burn anything that I've got. If I draw a land next turn, I could like Lyris plus Goyf from the yard, which would be nice. I mean, also casting Goyf means they can just Aether Gust it back on top. But I mean, if this Kalitas is gonna get to live, that's pretty big. They just pass. All right, cool. It gets to live. Make another chump blocker. And now removal is just great. Another Lyris. So I could attack. I know that their hand is Aether Gust and something. I mean, the odds that something is good are not super high, because if they had a burn spell, they probably would have just burned the Kalitas and attacked. I think I'm going to gain my 3. Yep, Reed was correct. And then I'm not going to play the green spell because I know about the Gust. I'll just cast a Lifelinker. Can't cast the Goyf yet. Please, no Bedlam Reveler. I'm assuming they're in range of that. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells. Yeah, so Bedlam Reveler is insane for them. It's a good sign. They're using their mana not on something that helps them kill me. Take another blocker. Alright, so now, ooh, that was good. I get to cast Goyf from the yard if I want, but again, they've got Aether Gust, and that just triggers all of their stuff. I think I want to just cast a Liliana here. My name's not a complete lie. The stream title is Rock. Alright, I really want to just Liliana here. They just like have to respond, or else I get a zombie, and it's such a disaster for them. And like even if they have their response, Liliana is just going to be really good here. I just want to avoid casting green spells. Oh, and they conceded. Sweet. We did it. We beat the Prowess. Bam. Yeah, I didn't think I was getting up there on that one either, but we drew some powerful stuff and it worked out. You won the die roll. Lucky. Don't think we can keep this one land there. We've got a redrawn bauble, but that's pretty risky. This is much better. I think I want to keep the 2 Inquisitions. Bitter Blossom's been good so far, Eric. This is only the 2nd time we've played it. The first time in Rock. Alright, I'm going to bottom the Fatal Push. I think I want to just keep the Bob and keep the Liliana. Definitely keeping the lands. Fatal Push not guaranteed to be good, but Inquisitions are guaranteed to be good. So I think I'm okay just bottoming that. Yeah, we won a Bogles matchup because we were able to basically fog an attack every single turn. And then it was obviously good in the league that we just played, in the match we just played. Pox, jeez. So looks like we're playing against 8-Rack. I mean, Pox is just going to be the most annoying by a lot. Opponent has your heart. Yeah, mine too. Alright, so I guess I'm taking Pox. I don't want to play against that card ever. I mean, Bob's going to be very good versus them. Hopefully. Swamp into Raven's Crime. I will discard Liliana. Seems like a good choice versus the deck trying to keep my hand empty. Alright, we drew a Decay for the first rack, so that's good. Bob, they get to Triumph, but I mean, it's gonna happen. Possible I should be Inquisitioning to take the Triumph. In fact, I probably should have. Swamp was the draw, yeah. Yeah, definitely should Inquisition there. I was a little hasty. When was the last time I played against Rack? Actually, not that long ago. I played against Rack like 2 leagues ago. My hand is going to empty really quickly, unfortunately. So they get to Raven's Crime me here. I played this kind of badly. Just because I should have a Bobbin play right now. There's the Mutavault. Alright, well, luckily they also played it badly. I mean, I still have to beat a Mutavault. Yeah, this deck can basically never beat Uro. Alright, so I'm playing 1 Kalitas in the deck. The opponent has a Raven's Crime. I think I'm just going to play the land. He says punt. So if I draw the Kalitas, playing this land here is going to look really smart. I'm assuming their Marsh Flats is only ever getting Swamp, but probably this is a way to enable Fatal Push Revolt. It evens out. I think my punt was probably worse. I mean, I guess... Oof. Yeah, that's good. Sweet. Land, go. Pretty sure I'm not winning this game at this point. I'm playing the land because they have Raven's Crime in their yard. So, I mean, it's not exactly safe in my hand. That gets rid of Mutavault. So I feel like I have to have removal. Like, pretty much the first thing I'm playing is definitely dying. More Mutavaults. It's a good one. That was a really, really good one. They didn't have removal, at least not one that cost 2. If they attack me with this Murderous Rider, I don't think I'm blocking with the Luris. I'll just take the hit. Then if they have Edict, I'll just sacrifice Dark Confidant. I can recast it with the Luris. Remember when the Luris was fine as printed? Yeah, I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Those were spooky times. I'm almost inclined to just block the Mutavault with the Bob, but then Edict is really, really bad for me. I think I'm okay just taking 4, going to 11. Because like if they have Pox or they have another Liliana's defeat, I really, really want to keep my Luris around. Like the block looks free, but I don't think it is. Like, I could go trade, but then I think their draws are better than mine, because like, they could just draw racks, and I'm just dead in a few turns. I mean, I've got a 3-power lifelinker in play. I think that's worth about as much as their attack for 4. It's like, if they have Pox here, then I look really smart. More Mutavaults, jeez. Oh, Snapcaster redeems a posture check. Alright, let me fix that for you. Yeah, I gotta add more of those redemptions. They're pretty fun. Alright, well now I get to just recast the Bob. And if I had blocked, they'd have enabled Revolt. So that'd be really bad. Sweet. And now they would have enabled Revolt again. Liliana, a nice draw. I could just plus and make sure that their last card isn't like a removal spell or something. But I mean, I think minusing get rid of the creature is also pretty clean. I mean, this would enable Revolt for them to kill the Luris, so maybe plussing is just really good. Yeah, I'll plus. It was a bridge. Jeez. Alright, well, I'm glad I plussed. Can't really attack because they'll just block with the Mutavault. Alright, then now if they attack with Mutavaults, I think I'll block with a Bob. Not now since they've played that. They probably would have gotten me if they just like attacked first. I would have blocked. You want me or Liliana? Yeah, I think they misplayed again. It was like when there's only one card I don't know about, I'm like almost inclined to make the trade. Especially since it was like the random card off the top. But yeah, Luris is just really, really good, not as a companion. Like, it's the only reason I'm even in this game right now. I'm just like casted this. It's about to be the 4th time I've cast this Bob. And I guess this makes sense. I guess they want to keep Mutavault back to defend their own Liliana. Let's let it take the hit. Spellbomb, not bad. Just more things I can loop with the Lurrus. And I think I'll cash in the Liliana for the Edict now. Their thing is gonna go to the bottom of the library. I guess I could respond in response to the trigger, just so if they have any shuffle effects, they can't get back a rider. I mean, if I draw another 2-drop, I'm gonna really wish I had sacked this now anyway. Like if I draw Goy for something here. Yep. Alright, we're ahead. Not attacking. I want to keep this Lurrus around as long as I can. My shirt is all over the place. I think we're doing it. I mean, they could still draw a rack and really put the pressure on us. We can gain 3 a turn. That's a lot of Mutavaults. Yep. It's their 4th Mutavault. We've got all of them. Alright, we're drawing cards. We could really draw cards if we want. Alright, so I think I'm going after this Liliana. And I am okay if they activate a Mutavault to do some amount of blocking. So I'll just recast it. I'm just gonna let it die, sure. Not gonna play the 3rd one. Getting aggro, huh? I mean, I'll block with the Bob and something. I mean, I'll probably just block with the Bob and take the damage. They're not going to have mana to block a Lurrus, which means I'm just gaining 3. Yeah, I think this attack is probably a mistake. Even if we take the full hit. Yeah, see, they're just not going to compound their error here, which is smart. I mean, they can only block with 1 Mutavault now, though. Liliana and backup Lurrus, really nice. Alright, so now I'm just going to attack all, I think. Definitely with Lurrus, definitely with Goyf. Probably with at least 1 Bob. Jam. So I'm assuming Lurrus is going to die here. They'll take 8. Then I'll just play 2nd one. I'm going to get Greatness. I don't know what that is. Is that a card? Or are you just saying I'm going to get got? Which could happen. Blocking the Goyf. Alright. Dead to my own Bob. Oh, no. Bob is too kind. I'm getting 3 life a turn. It'll be fine. I'm gonna play Liliana and then just not even plus it. You know what? No, I don't want them to draw a rack and then have it even do 1 damage to me. I feel like the way I lose this game is if I get cheesed out. I don't want to get cheesed out. Sure, that doesn't do anything. Am I gonna make emotes ever? Yeah, I probably should. I only have 1 unlocked right now. But I gotta make it. I don't really know how to get it like up and running, I guess. Alright, push means that's one less thing that can block a Luris, which is nice. Yeah, that's true, Eric. Oh, did they like misclick on a Mutavault? Yeah, I'll gain my 3. Yeah, I should probably look up how to work with the emotes, though. You're right. I know that I get 1 right now. We did it. Well, that first Luris draw was insane on like turn, what, 6 or 7? Just rode that the entire way. Alright, so playing against 8-Rack. I think I want anything that gains life. I mean, four lands is kind of sus, but... Alright, Tireless Tracker draws cards. Let's play that. I mean, Bitter Blossom is a way to win. Though losing life also not super exciting. Things like Thoughtseize are really, really bad draws. Let's get rid of those. It's like Liliana Last Hope doesn't do a lot. I mean, the minus buys back a creature. That could be good. Nick redeemed the posture check. All right. I got you. Yeah, I want to. Another thing I want to do is I want to make more of those rewards points. Rewards points, redemption type stuff. I did work on the stream a little bit before I got online though. I added the Twitter handle to the layout. Unfortunately, Junderdome was already taken, so I just put the Junderdome. I figured that was clear enough. Let's cut push here. I'm like eyeballing this Bitter Blossom. I think on the play maybe I won it. So we did see Ensnaring Bridge, so I may need to save Trophy, Decay, or Pulse or something like that. They want to go first. Yeah, this hand's fine. It's got the Bob. Yeah, I do have to put a, yeah, I'm gonna do a bunch of, stuff like that, Nick. I mean, if you have any other suggestions for, like, things that could be redeemed, let me know. Because I'm definitely clueless when it comes to that kind of stuff. I mean, Cling is a redraw. Cling also really, really nice against this opponent, right? Because it'll net me a card eventually. I mean, it doesn't net me a card right now, but Cling actually does get rid of Raven's Crime, so I think I want to keep it in my hand. I think the card least likely to do something is actually Fatal Push. I mean, I think I want a card, just a random card over this Fatal Push, so I can use it as kind of a scry with the Mire. I do think I want to get rid of the Raven's Crime, so in their upkeep, in their upkeep after I do the scry trick. I'll do this now. What do I have on top? It is a Liliana of the Veil. Maybe I should have cut those. There wasn't that much I wanted to bring in, though, is the issue. Alright, so I guess I could just do this now. Actually, I don't want to do it now. Because if the Inquisition or Thoughtseize me, I don't want them to have an option of getting that other card. What's up, James? You're in the field collecting samples? Wow, you're so smart, such a scientist. Sounds like a lot of fun, though. Yeah, it's also Saturday morning. What do you mean? It's Friday night. What are you talking about? Shrieking Affliction. That is fine. I guess I should cling in response, so they don't have the option to Raven's Crime me again. Another Tracker. Tracker is going to be very good versus them. Well, I've got lots of cards in my hand currently. Take 0. Bobby. My week's been pretty okay, James. Thanks for asking. Nothing super special. First week of classes. It's my last semester in undergrad, so I'm pretty hyped for that. I am currently not playing any Treetops. I'm just playing one Hissing Quagmire. I just didn't want tap lands. I'm playing 23 lands. Like, if I was playing a 24th land, like, I probably wouldn't mind if that one were tapped. Alright, this is gonna edict the crap out of my Bob. You're finishing your Masters online? That's pretty sweet. Goyf, not bad. It is pretty big. I think I want to get a card advantage engine down, though. Not sure which it should be between just playing a Tracker or playing a Bob. Tracker is less fragile to a Fatal Push. Like, I could play Bob and Spellbomb this turn. I think I'm gonna get the Bob down. The upside of it living is just, it just seems really, really high. I don't ever think I'm gonna need multiple that many black for any reason. I've got lots of green spells. I think I'm okay getting Forest. Playing Spellbomb means if they have me discard a card, I'll end up taking one off of the rack here. But I think that's okay. I'm actually not playing Questing Beast. My only 4-mana card right now is a single copy of Kalitas, and I'm playing a second Kalitas in the sideboard. Not really sure about a Masters. I kind of want to see if I can get a job straight out of college. But I mean, we'll see how that goes. Alright, them killing my thing is really depressing. I can play Tarmogoyf. Like, in my upkeep, I can sacrifice the Spellbomb and then still be able to play Tarmogoyf and not take any damage. I think I want to. Like, their Liliana has the ability to kill my Goyf, but at least then the Liliana dies. Another Cling, not great. Alright, well, I guess I'm throwing this out there. I guess I'll hold the Blooming Marsh for post-tracker. If they plus, I'll just discard a Cling. But I mean, I'm assuming that if they can kill my Tarmogoyf and then plus Liliana, I'm in a lot of trouble. Yeah, I'll show you the list right after this game. They discard a Bob of their own. They do have also a Murderous Rider in the Exile Zone. So I guess like fetch land is actually not a bad draw here. Liliana not bad either. I mean that's something I can play and then just immediately minus, get a card back into my hand. But I mean I think I really want to play Tracker here and then Blooming Marsh. I mean that means I'm going to be taking 3 off of Shrieking Affliction and then 2 off of Rack. This will have a Liliana going up, and they'll have a Murderous Rider. This is game 2, Ian. We're up a game. So I mean, if I Liliana minus, and then I get back like what, Tracker or Goyf, I mean they're still gonna be able to just Edict the first thing that I do, which is pretty rough. But I like not taking a bunch of damage. I guess like what am I discarding then? If I Liliana minus get back a thing, I could just discard like another threat. Yeah. Alright, so now I guess I'll just discard the Blooming Marsh. So I'm glad I'm glad I held it now. I'll take 1 from Rack. They'll have a Murderous Rider in play. Nick, that I think what you're referring to is only an arena thing. I don't think it works on Magic Online. Unless you're talking about Stream Decker, which I think is not super refined. Like I know there are algorithms that will like say what they're like, say what like if you hover over something. I think if you like click on something, it might tell you what it is. I'll take my 1. Field of Ruin, huh? I mean, having 4th land in play is not even that bad. I think I just want to Tracker play the field. I'll take 5. Actually, I'll take the full 6. Kind of a rough spot. This Liliana has absolutely shredded me. I mean, I could just play the land and intend on casting Cling to Dust. Net a card that way, but then their Liliana is still really, really big. So let's just, I mean, I guess I'll just Cling. But I just don't know how I'm going to deal with Liliana. Like, I'm kind of just drawing to Maelstrom Pulse, Trophy, or Decay if I'm doing this. Oh, Cardboard Live? Yeah. Yeah, I think you guys are right. I could look into it. I mean, I just need to play a creature is the issue here. Which means I definitely should have not played this Field of Ruin yet. So I would have gotten a clue. I got distracted, my bad. I mean, Liliana's going to be worth a card next turn. Yeah, it would up the quality. It would up the quality. I could like put it right below my image, I guess. So I guess their worst play here is a Murderous Rider. Jeez, they just drew another Liliana. That's brutal. Yep. They knew my card was Bob. Take 6. That's not good anymore. Luris. I mean, I don't have the lands. I don't have like the lands that I would need to double spell though, is the issue. I mean, I guess it'll make them Edict. Oh, crap. No, turn off. Forgot I could cast the stupid Spell Bomb. Or even the Bobble. That's a big one. I mean, they're letting me hit with the Luris, though. I guess unless they just draw removal. They could play their Murderous Rider. Yeah, that's really bad though. I should have definitely drawn a card. Murderous Rider, yep. Then I'm gonna go to 4 here. Should be 5. I mean, I could. I guess I get to Field of Ruin their Silent Clearing, which will enable a Revolt. And of course I targeted the wrong one because I'm stupid. And I kind of have to attack Liliana. Or else I just get edicted. I mean, I get edicted anyway, but at least the Liliana dies this way if they edict me. I go up to 7 here. And then the triggers get stacked active player, non-active player. So I have to actually sack this on my turn if I want to have it by their turn. I mean, otherwise they're just gonna plus the Liliana. I mean, if they plus the Liliana, I get to keep the Lurrus, though. It's kind of a rock and a hard place. Like, if I do it on their turn, I'm taking the extra damage to the racks and stuff. I think I have to do it now and then just, like, let them plus. Inquisition on top? Jeez. Alright, so now it doesn't matter. So, yeah. I targeted the wrong land because now they get to sack this now. Draw their Inquisition. Yeah, I played this poorly. Jeez. Yeah, I just played this really bad. Alright, now that I'm on the play, I'm definitely bringing in Bitter Blossom. I guess I could bring in Fulminator Mage. It gets rid of their Mutavaults. They're probably just better than the Lilianas. Liliana does not seem that strong. I mean, I could Brutality as well, I guess. I mean, the gaining 2 life could come up. Doesn't really kill anything, though. Maybe Fatal Push is just better also for Mutavault reasons. I mean, I like doing the extra 2 points, though. Taking instant or sorcery could matter just to, like, defend something like a Lurrus. Maybe Lilianas are so important that Thoughtseize is actually good enough. I could see that. Let's give this a go. Yeah, let's go first. Keeper. Sounds great. Hopefully this hand's good enough to bail me out of really not thinking last game. This matchup, all things considered, seems like it should be pretty fair. Alright, so let's hopefully defend our Dark Confidant. 3 Lilianas of the Veil, jeez. I guess I'll take Inquisition. Only real hole I can punch. 3 Lilianas is going to be a lot to work through. And if I cast Bob now, they're just gonna Liliana's Triumph. Tracker's good. I mean, I guess I can hope they don't hit the lands. But these Lilianas are gonna be really hard to beat. I mean, I guess I'll just lead on the ooze. I mean, I really don't want it dying. I just really don't want the Bob dying. Like, at least if they don't kill this, I'll have the Bob to get through. Issue there is, like, if I play second Bob after they take 2, they just edict me then and they untap on Liliana. So no matter what, they're just gonna get to edict me out. So there's one card I don't know about. Sorry, 2, and I'm hoping one of them's not a land. I'm missing a land here, also kind of unfortunate, obviously. I know they're drawing Bantu's Last Reckoning, so if one of the other 2 cards isn't a land, and it's not, alright, we're in it. Oh, well, they have infinite Lilianas. So let's get a threat down to Insulate versus Edicts. I mean, they still have the Bantu's Last Reckoning, but if we can hit a land, we've got a good follow-up. If they brick on land here, I think we've got it won. Thought I said something bad. No, I didn't. Alright, so I hope... they're probably just gonna Bantu's me here. What did you think I said? Bantu. It's Liliana. Sakagoyf. Really want to hit a land here. You just assumed the D word. My bad, I didn't mean to accidentally exclaim profanity. Lands. Alright, there we go. Even revealed the Blooming Marsh, not bad. Alright, so... I mean, playing another creature here means that they're more inclined to Bantu's me, as opposed to just edicting me again with the Liliana. Their hand's still pretty formidable. Assuming this is Bantu's Last Reckoning, yep. Fortunately, these pushes are looking kind of silly. Alright, Goyf actually not a bad hit here. Their lands are going to stay tapped for at least another turn. You know, I could Field of Ruin them to keep them off of lots of black mana, but I don't actually have to do that yet because their lands are staying tapped for a turn. So another Bantu's Last Reckoning. Alright, I'll take another Liliana, I guess. Liliana just their best card. Opponent says removal for days. Unfortunately, me too. I did board a push out, but these are just looking silly. Saccharine Urborg. Rack? Okay. So, I mean, I suppose I'm just gonna sacrifice the spell bomb to prevent a damage. If I hit the Urborg, they don't actually... I mean, they could just get a swamp, though, right? Bitter Blossom, huh? This does make Goyf on the small side, doesn't it? I mean, I think Bitter Blossom is one of those cards that I could just sit on and hope it's good enough to win. I don't think I'm ever going to play another card. I think this Bitter Blossom is going to hopefully take me there. Assuming here's another Liliana. That's the third one. Yeah, I mean, unless I draw a tracker, I don't think I'm ever playing these lands again. Make a thing. I'm aware of my clock, too. Thoughtseize, not great. I mean, I guess it's fine. The issue is that if I plus, they're gonna continue. Their plus will continue to make the rack trigger on me. Yeah, I'm just gonna hope this Bitter Blossom can get me there. If they activate Mutavault, I'll push it. That's a good one. Do it again. Smallpox, jeez. Yep. You definitely have to keep a Fatal Push. Liliana's gonna plus here. My Field of Ruin's also a swamp, so we'll just keep it. Come on, Luris. Alright, I think I'm under the gun here. Jeez. Alright, I'm taking 4 a turn. I need like a Decay or a Maelstrom Pulse or a Trophy to really have a shot. I mean, Ooze will gain some life very slowly. Go at you. And we've got an okay number of creatures to eat. We can gain 2 a turn. I mean, Bitter Blossom is going to start attacking for chunks at a time. If the opponent can draw lands, then we're in an okay spot. If they draw stuff like Smallpox and Fatal Push, I guess even Dismember. We're not really afraid of edicts anymore. This is gonna hit for a lot. We just really need to dodge Fatal Push. Ooze might have been our second best draw right after Luris just because of the life gain aspect and the fact that it hits for a lot. Let's do a quick creature count. One, two, three, four, four in mine, one in theirs. It's gonna be close. Alright, I think I'm gonna go one at the Liliana. These three at them. That means I'll get to keep the Overgrown Tomb in my hand if the Liliana dies. Which means the rack will do less damage. And I guess I should have eaten stuff before damage too. So, gotta get my head screwed back on. Is this usually a good or a bad matchup? I think it's about even. Wow, we did it. I don't know if it'll still let me type. Cool. Yeah, I think it's usually about even, but I played game 2 very badly and I almost punted away game 3 as well. Still got there. I think for Jund I think it's a good matchup because you get Renin 6, which is really good against them because you're just drawing a card every single turn and they can't just Fatal Push the Bob. Like, you can't Fatal Push a Planeswalker. And then you also have access to stuff like Hologon's Command, which is very good versus the rack. But yeah, Renin 6 is really, really good versus 8 rack. Don't think this is a keeper, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't forget to bolt the opponent if I'm playing rock. That is true. I'll just keep some diversity in this hand. Luris the only redundant thing. Stomping Ground tapped, huh? I mean, that's something to do. Let's, I guess, just play that. In the off chance the opponent is playing red-green, I should probably just start getting basics. I'll just fetch basic Swamp and cast the Spellbomb, I think. Because, like, if I draw another fetch land next turn, I'm going to want to be able to get basic Forest before they can Blood Moon me on 3. I've got access to green already, so I think this is fine. Watch them be Dredge. We just have the Spellbomb. That'd be sick. Double Stomping Ground. Alright, less likely they're red-green then, because I guess they only play 2. So, I mean, it's still possible. Farseek. Oh god, this matchup sucks. Just looks like a regular Amulet, not Amulet Titan, just regular Titan-Shift. Yeah, this matchup should be pretty bad. We've got Field of Ruin. Don't know that it matters. Yeah, oof indeed, Nick. Opponent now has the very difficult decision of which forest to get. I mean, Bobble is something we can at least combo with the Lurrus, so it could have been a worse draw. I think I should just Spellbomb now, because if I draw like Inquisition or Thoughtseize, I'm going to really want to cast it. And I can't do anything else, and my next turn's mana is kind of tied up already anyway. So I guess this turn coming up, I'm planning on just casting a Lurrus, then recasting Bobble. I mean, if I can stay above 18, they do need an additional land drop to just kill me with Escape Shift. They missed a land drop? They get to play an additional one, so it looks like they're just straight missing a land drop. Alright, so I'm still going to try to stay above 18 if possible. Which means I'm not tapping Peatland for mana until I hit with Lurrus. Goyf is good. I mean, they hit for equal amounts though, and Lurrus would let me draw a card, so I think I'm going to Lurrus. Also, like I mentioned, gaining life means I can start tapping Peatland for mana. GP event information. I'm assuming there isn't any just because of coronavirus. There hasn't been a GP in many months, and there aren't any scheduled as far as I'm aware. But yeah, the first one in the U.S. I plan on going. Dryad. All right. Well, I guess that would have been a reason to play Goyf. We've got Fatal Push if we can enable Revolt, which we know we can, because we can just loop a Bobble. I'll take you with me. Down. We can carpool and everything. Alright, so let's play the Bobble. I'll sacrifice it to enable Revolt. Castle Garenbrig. They're likely to shuffle out away anyway. Kill this. Play a land. Play a Tarmogoyf. So I mean, if they draw this castle, we could be in trouble, because that'll put them up to Titan mana. All right, sweet. Whew. They're not drawing castle. We know they're missing land drop, so I mean, castle was their best land too. I mean, we already know they've got the Titan. We've got him dead in 2 hits. Goyf actually outsizing the Titan here too. Alright, Mountain is into Castle Garenbrig. Casting this means we still get to leave Spellbomb as the artifact in the yard. 6 cards in the yard, and 6 types for Goyf. I guess Dryad is actually adding 2 of those. We've got 2 lands in the yard. So I think actually playing another Tarmogoyf here is really good for us. Because they outsize the Goyf. And I want to keep up Field of Ruin in case they do something funky with their Primeval Titan. I mean, they need a land just to cast it. Wow, getting game 1 off of Amulet, not Amulet, just any Titan deck with Black Green X feels pretty solid. All right, so I think I want a Brutality. Brutality can take most of their ramp, and occasionally Pact of Summoner's Pact. Fulminator seems good, obviously. Don't think this is a choke matchup. Actually, choke can be kind of cute if they have their Dryad in play where everything is an island. But then I can't really attack as long as that's happening either. It might just be better. It might just be better than something in the main deck. Let's take a look. Yeah, Fatal Push not looking great. Same with Cling. Ooze kind of the slowest threat. Bob and Goyf should be fine. Liliana kind of a liability. This Liliana kind of a liability. This Liliana doesn't actually kill anything. I mean, this is a 57 cards that I'm happy cutting. I have to be careful with Obstinate Bailoff, but yeah, I mean, this might just be a time where I might be able to just cheese him out with the choke. They'll just have to redeploy a bunch of land drops, assuming they tap a bunch for the Dryad. I mean, if I can assemble a lethal attack or a near lethal attack in one turn, then it might be worth just stalemating it with the choke. So if I have to bring in one more card, I mean, I guess it's between something like Tracker. I could bring in another Fatal Push for a Dryad. I mean, I've got lots of answers to Dryad though. I mean, I could Ooze just as a Grizzly Bear. Yeah, I guess I'll play one Ooze. There's some chance they play something that it cares about, but I doubt it. I could Bitter Blossom. Again, Bitter Blossom just feels so much better on the play as opposed to the draw. Let's give this a shot, and then I think if we make it to, if we're forced to play a game 3, I'll bring in the Bitter Blossom for that Scavenging Ooze. Bitter Blossom not necessarily giving me the option to stay above 18 life. I mean, this hand is fine. I mean, not playing Ashiok on the board is really messing with me right now. Alright, we dodged the turn 1 search for tomorrow, so that's good. Alright, we get to do the scry trick. I think I'm happy with a land here. Happy with Inquisition and Thoughtseize here. I don't really need any more creatures. There's the choke. Did I break what on stream beforehand? I don't know if I want the choke. I mean, choke could just get him. I think it's cute enough to where if it works, it'll just win me the game. So let's just play this tapped. I'll draw the choke. Next turn I can Brutality or Bob. Did I brew this? I didn't brew it on stream. I just brewed it before the stream. I just wanted to play some Dark Confidants, so here it is. And they've got their castle, so they're just 2 land drops away. Blooming Marsh is fine. I think I should probably... It's kind of close, actually. I mean, Brutality can take more ramp if that's their play. It could also give me the heads up if they got Obstinate Bailoff. But I mean, I like getting down some pressure. It's kind of close. Yeah. I think I'm gonna Brutality. This could be a mistake. But I'm just gonna hope this hits. Yeah, they have the castle. Big oof. Alright, hit the search. Alright, so that prevents Titan. It doesn't actually prevent Titan for another turn. Because they still just go land, Titan. I mean, taking a card from their hand is still pretty powerful. When Liliana is something that could eventually deal with Titan. Alright, Thoughtseize would be big. Alright, no Thoughtseize, unfortunately. Alright, so next turn they get to play land, go Titan. They can get Valakut. Actually, they can't get Mountain because Castle is not a mountain, so they don't actually get to trigger it. But they can Field of the Dead to get 2 zombies. Thank you. It's gonna get Luris, I guess. Like, if they go Titan and for some reason don't go the zombie route, I can maybe get him with an Edict on a Liliana. I mean, this play is fine too. Alright, so here comes Titan. So, I mean, I'm assuming the plan is just go for some zombies here. And they have no redundant land types in play already. So, yeah, Field is just going to make some stuff. Yes, I needed a Maelstrom Pulse there, I think. Because, I mean, as it stands, they're going to get Valakut online next turn. Drawing Forest. I mean, I'm drawing to a Maelstrom Pulse, but that's about it. I guess I should go Swamp, play 2 threats then. The issue is, like, if I'm drawing the Maelstrom Pulse, like, I need to pulse the zombies and have Liliana in play. So I can Edict it afterwards. Seems really, really bad. I don't think it's a plan that works. So 3 more lands means 3 more zombies. They also have Valakut gonna be online. About 0% to win this game, give or take. Who knows? I could be negative. Oh, I didn't update my record. Need to start doing that. Alright. You got me. I think that's the only change I'm making. Like, Damping Sphere stops Castle. That's it. You don't know if the choke is worth? I mean, if they have Dryad, choke can single-handedly win the game. I mean, if they don't, then maybe I can just discard it somehow. The issue is, like, I'm not even sure there's something I want over it. Like, maybe I want Tracker now that I'm on the play. It attacks, right, basically, right? That would be the logic. How do you like this swap, Nick? Just these two for these two? Unless you have another suggestion. Maybe I can cut spell bombs for him. Yeah, maybe more threats is just what I need. So then it would look something like this. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I mean, I could also see us not wanting Spellbomb. Spellbomb doesn't actually do anything against their deck. It's just more of something to value loop with Luris. Let's go first. We've got the Bitter Blossom. We're not allowed to mulligan. We've got a Fulminator too. This hand has the potential of being very strong. Don't think we dodged the Search for Tomorrow all 3 games. That'd be real lucky, though. Maybe it's the Arboreal Grazer. Who knows? Nope, it's a search. Alright, Luris. Not bad. Bitter Blossom, go. Alright, land next turn would be really, really big. Relic? That's fine. Alright. Come on, land. Bob, I mean, it's something we can play. They're gonna have, after search resolves, they can have as much as 4 mana in play. I think Bob, I want to play Bob. It just increases the odds I hit my next land drop. Also, it just adds more pressure. Yeah, I like the Bob too, Nick. Yeah, but I mean, hitting the land would have been very good. Just cycle the Veil. Yep. So unfortunately, Veil of Summer is still something we're soft to. They cycled one. That could just indicate they have another one. Alright, we hit the land. Alright, I'm going to attack both. And then I'm going to play Fulminator, but I'm going to wait until their upkeep to sack it. Because then I haven't cast a green spell. And they won't draw a card off of a Veil. Hopefully they're just kicking themselves saying, dang, why did I cycle my Veil of Summer? I mean, if they got a second one, it's still going to suck. I mean, if they have to Veil of Summer on their turn to defend versus Fulminator, that's still a turn that we don't have to face a Titan. And if their route to Titan is Summoner's Pact, we've got the Brutality. So at your upkeep. So no matter what, this Fulminator is going to delay a Titan at least a turn. Really don't want to risk them having Castle on the Titan, so I do think I want to do it now. Alright, so they don't get to draw a card off of it at least. Dryad. Alright, well, we can decay it if we really need to. Alright, and we kind of have to decay it now. Because every land is a Valakut trigger. Like, even if we draw Choke, we can't now, because they'll still just get to have the Dryad in play. We drew Inquisition. So, I mean, Inquisition is something we can cast in conjunction with the Abrupt Decay. I mean, the Inquisition is gonna get to take Summoner's Pact if that's their route. The issue is, like, if they have Scape Shift, we don't beat that. So we have 3 mana to work with this turn. So we can cast Inquisition plus Brutality, or Inquisition plus Abrupt Decay. So I mean, in both of those scenarios, we're casting Inquisition, so we should probably just lead on that and get some information. So I just hope their route to Titan. Jeez, that just completely bricked. I mean, they're short on the lands. They need to draw the land to Titan us. I mean, if they hit it, we're in a world of pain, though. Yeah, we're kind of just dead on the spot if they draw untapped land, unfortunately. They can Baloth, but we can revolt off of a Spellbomb to push it. We're still kind of just dead. But we need to fade like a mana source for 2 turns in a row. Doesn't seem super likely. Especially since they can redraw off a relic. If they don't hit it now, they can look for it next turn. Valakut. Alright, well, they have it next turn. Here comes a Baloth. I guess, like, my best draw now is probably my next copy of Fulminator Mage, so that means they have to hit it again, and it also would enable Revolt. I've got 2 looks at it. Luris, not exactly it. And I know their hand is 2 Titans. I think I really need to revolt the Fatal Push to keep attacking through this thing. So I can cast Nile Spellbomb, sacrifice it, draw the card, cast a Fatal Push. I'll have 1 mana left over. Field of Ruin. So now I can Field of Ruin into a Fatal Push. I mean, if they have a regular mountain in the deck, that doesn't detract from any of their types. I mean, I'm going to want to do it sooner rather than later. I mean, I could just pop a Valakut now. I think I should pop the Valakut now. It'll reduce the number of triggers they get off of their Titan, so I don't just die. for 5. I mean, next turn we have an attack in the air for 4, puts you to 7. Brutality not quite there. So they can just get Field of the Dead. If they get Field of the Dead Valakut, they don't actually get any Valakut triggers. But they do get 2 zombies, which would insulate them versus Edicts. 2 Field of the Deads, yeah, that works too. So if any shadow of a chance, I think I need Maelstrom Pulse here. And they still just get 2 zombies after the fact. If I draw Maelstrom Pulse, I could kill Titan, but they still just have backup and all of these zombies in play. Another Bob, you say? Alright, I think I'm just dead here. I can get in for 4 in the air, but that's not nearly enough. Very, very dead. I mean, we got 1 game off of them, which was impressive enough. Yeah. We've got a way to interact on 2. If we don't want to interact on 2, we can play a Bob. Not having a 1-mana play really sucks. But I don't think I can ship a hand with 2 lands and castables. Opponent mulliganing to 5 here. That's not good. I mean, I guess it could still be Eldrazi Tron. I mean, I guess mulligan to 5 more means Eldrazi regular Tron, but I mean Chalice on 1 probably means Eldrazi Tron. Reveal the Swamp. Well, that's good. I'm playing Luris. And if I have any 1-mana plays that I want to cast, I'll have to make sure to decay the Chalice first. Alright, no natural Tron, please. I mean, they mulled a 5. They might have just been aggressively gunning for it. Thought not. Alright, well, that probably takes Goyf. Goyf is like the only thing that could potentially outsize their stuff. Would love to draw Fatal Push here, because then I can Decay Chalice, then push the Thanatsier, get an attack. So come on, Fatal Push. Thoughtseize and an Ooze. Well, Thoughtseize might be good enough to want to just get it, cash in the Chalice now. But I mean, drawing another threat also means I get to double spell on creatures. I think I should do that. Not gonna play around all his dust here. If they have it, it's just really unfortunate.
Sorry.
Thought not again. Alright, well I guess now they're taking Decay because it gets rid of the Chalice. Thoughtseize doesn't do anything as long as they have the Chalice. Yeah, I can cast the Thoughtseize, just add sorcery. Alright, let's find that Maelstrom Pulse. That'd be sweet. Alright, well we can play Bobble, replay Bobble. We can even get like a Scry out of it. We have an Inquisition on top. I don't want that. I mean, I think we're still actually very behind here. 'Cause like any big planeswalker puts us nearly dead. Cavern's an okay one for them to draw for us. Yeah, that's fine. We know their hand is only Cavern now. Goyf not bad. Kalidas not bad either. They're drawing Karn. Disgusting. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go creature. So they're gonna be able to Karn, get something that costs 2. Sorry, get something that costs 3 and play it immediately. No, 2. 2 is right. So they can blast zone a lot of my creatures away. Luris can help me regain them. mean, if they get greedy and get something they can't cast now, we can Liliana plus. And we can also just Liliana minus, which will have their thing be exiled and give us a zombie. I mean, we could also make it so that they don't get the ability to minus again by just attacking into it. I mean, their Blast Zone on 2 is making things awkward. They can't activate the Blast Zone on 2. And I guess they get like Sorcerer Spyglass would be their best case here. I mean, they don't know that it's their best case. Yeah, I mean, I guess their consideration was they could have just like plussed. You get a bridge, right? Well, they don't actually get to keep the bridge, and again, they don't know that. Well, that gets countered. So if I Liliana plus, I could then attack all into the Karn. The issue is that they're gonna just get to bridge me. So if I Liliana minus, I can then kill the Karn, but they'll have a bridge. I mean, if I don't kill the Karn here, they're just gonna minus against something else that's really big, and I also have a hard time versus this bridge. But I mean, I have outs to the bridge, so maybe I just let them play it and make sure the Karn dies this turn. I think I'm gonna do that. If they sack Reshaper, they don't get the trigger because Kalidas. So an attack all at Karn like this means Karn is dying. These are all things getting destroyed by Blast Zone anyway. Karn dies. Yep, you have a bridge. Then I get to cast something from my yard. Let's just make it another bauble. I guess I'll let them draw the card. If it's something good, they're going to play it anyway, and this way I can at least get information on the next turn. There's bridge. I think I'm just going to do the scry trick, though. Liliana of the Veil. That's fine. So I guess they want it to sweep the Luris and the Liliana. Tarmogoyf, don't want that. So the only spell in my hand that actually resolves is the Luris. So I just have to keep hoping that I dodge. We've got a lot of things that just do it though. Mind Stone just to redraw. Countered. Yep. What's on top? Liliana of the Veil. Don't think I want that one. More things that don't actually work. That's a good one. We've got a backup, so Inquisition. Don't want that. Field of Ruin. That takes care of Blast Zone. This means this Liliana gets to keep on working up its way towards ultimate. They scoop, sweet. I mean, they were still probably pretty behind to like a Karn or something. They can get rid of their own bridge somehow. Alright, so Plague Engineers for naming Eldrazi. Fulminator Mage also seems fine. Nile Spellbomb not really looking pretty strong. Take out an Inquisition. Can take out the Clings. Like cutting some bobs on the draw. The issue is like all of my good cards cost 3 or more mana, which is a lot. It's a lot of... This is a really inverted curve here. Wow, they just scooped? They must have had to leave or something. Alright, I'll take it. Get that record updated. The opponent is going first. You've got 1 land, 2 things we can cast. I think on account of half of my spells costing 3, I have to mulligan. If I had another 2-drop, I think it'd be closer. If I brick on the land, I just can't do a lot for a while. This is better. The opponent mulled to 5. You know, they mulled a 5. I guess that means they could be Tron again, which means Trophy might have more value than Decay. But Decay sucks compared to Trophy as far as early game is concerned. I think Liliana is powerful enough to where I should probably never be getting rid of it. It's possible this is not going to be a Fatal Push matchup. I can bin a push, but then I'm not guaranteed to play more spells. It's risky, but I think I'm going to do it. What time? If it's like 9, 10's fine, yeah.
There's between 9 and 10 either.
Yeah. Alright, so as expected, it's Tron, which makes me happy that I bottomed the Fatal Push, because they don't do a whole lot. And Blooming Marsh, not a bad hit. We do have the Field of Ruin, but it's going to be a little slow on the draw. We could Assassin's Trophy into Field of Ruin and really try to keep him off the Tron. So, I mean, Assassin's Trophy usually not enough to keep the Tron deck off of Tron. But, I mean, if they've mulliganed to 5 and we can follow it up with a Field of Ruin, it might just get there. Alright, so if they don't play a Tron land this upcoming turn, or not a unique Tron land, I was going to say that maybe I can take the turn off to Liliana, start pressuring their already small hand. They get another tower, and they play the tower. Yep, makes some sense. So I should probably just Field of Ruin them, really make sure that they can't Tron me. Get rid of the tower again. Alright, 2 towers down. Man, I don't have any pressure though. What's that puppy? Spatial contortion. Please don't play a Tron land. They didn't play land at all. Okay, that's good. So now I get to Liliana, start working at the hand. Cletus also good, but I think I want to start going at their hand. Then I'll just discard a Fatal Push. Decay can hit stuff like, I guess, Map if it ever comes up. I think Fatal Push just has less use than the Decay. Yeah, I think it's a better, at least game one. I do think it's better for Rock just because of the Field of Ruin. But I mean, that said, I don't necessarily think Field of Ruin is going to be enough on its own to beat Tron, even if you find one. Like, look at here. Like, we're still sweating it, and we went trophy into a Field of Ruin, and we're still like not super comfortable. Like they could just Tron us next turn and then play a Karn and we lose. If we draw another Field of Ruin, that'd be great, but obviously no guarantees. There's only 2 left. Come on, Field of Ruin. Come on, Field of Ruin. Let's get that 3rd tower out of there. I mean, they did miss a land drop, so they'd have to draw it off of the top. And I mean, still, the tower is the find that makes sense, just because we've destroyed 2 of those already, so it's gonna be the hardest to just natural draw. And I'm going to play the Cletus because that doesn't get owned by the Spatial Contortion. Alright, so please don't draw the Tron land and have a payoff. And it's not even like super unlikely. Like it's pretty likely they already have the payoff. They just need to draw the other Tron land. And as soon as they do, we're down in the dumps. Karn, okay. Well, I can maybe decay something that it gets. Like if they just get a bridge, I can decay the bridge. The first attack is gonna make sure that the Karn doesn't get to minus again. I mean, we're also 1 turn off of ultimate, so if we can dodge it for 1 more turn, we may be able to grab game 1 versus Tron, which is always a feat. We get a Sorcerer's Spyglass. That makes some sense. We've got the Decay for it, though. So, again, very glad that I kept the Decay. Alright, I think I'm just going to discard Bobble. That way I can play Ooze and hold up the Decay. I'm definitely wanting to plus. I'll do this first so the opponent discards without information. There goes the Contortion that we knew about. Alright, and then I'll play a Scavenging Ooze. And I will attack the Karn for 3. So they can't minus it again. So if their turn here is Spyglass, they're going to name Liliana, but we have the Decay. So if we can avoid the Tron for 1 more turn, I think we'll be golden. And then we can heavily weigh... Oh god. We can heavily weigh the tower in the really bad... Because this is their 3rd tower. So if we can put tower in the smaller piles. Alright, they did not find the Tron. That's big. So here comes Spyglass. We'll just decay it. They're going to see that we can decay it too. Welp. Let's get rid of that. I mean, we're still not actually winning this game yet. Our clock isn't super punishing. Tarmogoyf an excellent pickup though. Ultimate target you. Alright, so again, this is their last tower. So another one's gonna be hard to find. So we could just do this. Because like if we put forest over here, they just keep this pile for sure. We don't want them keeping a blast zone either. This probably has them keeping forest mine. They're way off of Tron. Alright, they're keeping the blast zone. Yeah, I think I'm still just gonna play my Tarmogoyf. How many creatures can I eat right now? The opponent has 0 creatures, and as do we, so Ooze literally a grizzly bear right now. But Tarmogoyf a pretty fine draw. It advances the clock a significant amount. Like, had we just drawn a land there, we could still be in a spot to lose. I mean, we're still in a spot where we could lose, but they're going to have to do it without Tron. So yeah, we went Trophy of Tron land, into Field of Ruin, into Liliana, into Threats, and we still had to sweat it. If we're missing any one of those elements, I think we lose this game. Another grizzly bear. Alright, don't really think there's a point in playing second grizzly bear. I mean, I guess there's no reason not to. They can't really do anything drastic with 2 lands in play. They're not really in blast zone range yet either. Alright, got game 1 versus Tron. So this is our 3rd big mana matchup. We're 1-1 versus them so far. Losing to Red-Green Titan. Winning to Eldrazi Tron somehow. I think I want to play these trackers just because they're pretty beefy attackers, but they are on the slow end at 3 mana, not attacking until turn 4. I mean, Nile Spellbomb, not really something I'm super interested in, but I mean, it's mainly just as a way to, it's just a nice thing to loop with the Lurrus. I mean, I could even Bitter Blossom. I think on the play I'm going to Bitter Blossom because it's a pretty significant clock. And Clings and stuff like that really just redraws to better things like Damping Sphere and Fulminator Mage. We have Field of Ruin, but it's on the draw. What did the opponent do? They mulliganed. I mean, we've got 2 redraws. If we can keep them off of the Tron for a turn, it's risky. But I mean, we've got a lot of good sideboard cards we'd love to hit. We've got 2 redraws. We've got the Field of Ruin as mentioned. They mulligan to 5. That helps. Yeah, maybe I should have just taken out all the Fatal Pushes for just more 3 mana creatures. Seems like a mistake. Tron land and map, yep. Need to find Damping Sphere. Damping Sphere would be the nuts. Alright, well that's actually fine-ish because that's a scry with the Mishra's Bauble. There's a swamp on top. Don't want that. Alright, so drawing the Damping Sphere. Mine on top. Alright, well that's redundant at least. Come on, just play that second mine. Play that second mine. Show me you don't have Tron. Damn. Alright, so we could draw a trophy. We have to draw damping. We have to draw a trophy or Damping Sphere to keep him off. Fulminator on the draw is not fast enough. Swamp isn't it. Bob isn't it. I mean, Bob is at least something we can do. So I mean, they're gonna get Tron here. I mean, if they don't have some absurd payoff right now, we could get him off of the Tron. Alright, no absurd payoff, it looks like. And they could still draw something that costs 6. Like they could draw Karn the Great Creator. Alright, so now they're off of Worm Coil and stuff like that. They could still draw Karn the Great Creator. We could attack the Karn the Great Creator down to 1 after a first activation. There's the Karn. So it'll be interesting to see what they get here. It might just be Sorcerer's Spyglass. We know they have a second mine, so I'm just gonna go after Tower. Coding, jeez. There's a Luris. Go after their tower. Their mine is the redundant piece right now. And they get to kill a land here, but that doesn't keep us off of a 3-mana play next turn. There's the coding, yep. So my Overgrown Tomb is dying. Blast Zone. Alright, so we get to kill the Karn at least, as long as they don't have Spatial Contortion. If they have Spatial Contortion, we're in trouble. I mean, Fulminator would also just be a pretty good draw. More basics. Let's see if we can kill Karn. Okay. And I think I want to get the Liliana down to start pressuring their hand as well. I mean, I can get threats down, but they've got the blast zone. So I'm just gonna go after their hand. Could discard creatures because I can just recast them with the Lurrus anyway. I've got so many lands I don't think it matters. Alright, so we know their hand is mine and something. So in theory they could still draw the Tron land and have that other something be something stupid. But they're probably gonna wanna get rid of this Liliana before it's in ultimate range. They're gonna put a counter on Blast Zone, they kinda have to do it now. I guess they could still just play Urza's Mine and do it that way. Alright, so they rerouted to Tron. Alright, I mean, Fulminator Mage, Damping Sphere, still both amazing. Blooming Marsh, less so. So I'm assuming here goes a mine from the opponent. Oops. Kicked my table. Alright, there goes the mine. So they've got one card left. It's presumably not something big. So I guess I can just Lurrus here, replay a Bobble. It's not great. They're gonna go up to 2 on Blast Zone now to get rid of the Bob. So I mean, I don't want to play a 2-drop. Can't play a second Liliana. So I guess that means I'm gonna be playing Lurrus and then recasting a Bobble. Yep. Alright, so if they draw something big and stupid here, they do just get to play the big stupid thing. Ugin would be insane. Smaller Ugin. The Ineffable would be insane. Another Karn would be nuts. Wormcoil would also be quite stupid. Map on top. Alright, I mean, we're going to get to get the last card out of their hand here. More Lilianas. Inquisition. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I guess the thing could be Baloth, but I'm not really playing around it. I could Inquisition first to see if the coast is clear, but I don't think that's something I'm interested in. Yeah, we're just going straight to discard. Get rid of an Inquisition. There was another mine. Alright, so they're drawing map. I mean, they have to keep us off of ultimate. So we can actually play another Tarmogoyf, and they can't really pop the Blast Zone. I mean, what can they get with their map? They can get, like, Scavenger Grounds. They might have the land that lets them draw a card if their hand is empty. I never remember the name of that one. So yeah, I think I am gonna play the Tarmogoyf now, just to entice them to play to pop the Blast Zone on 2. And again, I know they're drawing Expedition map. Yeah, and as predicted, second Goyf here, fine. I could have even played another one, but then they might actually Blast Zone me. Alright, you're taking me off of ultimate. Makes sense to me. Also gets the Lurrus. Bummer. Here comes map. They could even do this now if they want. They could just play the land immediately. So I'm assuming it's one of the utility lands. Probably the one that lets them draw a card if their hand's empty. I can Liliana plus if that's the case. Sanctum, okay. So that means any good draw is going to get them into their next good draw. What are you drawing? Urza's Power Plant. Alright, so I think that puts us in the clear. As long as we don't flip an Emrakul off this Bob. There's the Damping Sphere. Alright, so that doesn't actually matter anymore. I get to just hit them, play second Goyf. That should be game. And again, I know they're drawing Power Plant, so that doesn't do anything. We did it. Whew. So we wound up getting the 4-1. Not bad at all. So I did admittedly play the second match versus 8-Rack pretty sloppily, but we ended up escaping with it purely off the back of this Lurrus of the Dream Dead thing. It was very, very good. We were in a top deck war versus 8-Rack. They had a rack in play. We were both hellbent, and we just drew Lurrus and played a Bob out of our yard at 15 life. And we just restabilized from there and just continued to win the game. So I'm just going to list off overperformers as a way of getting this wrap-up going. I guess I should edit my record. Obviously, we're not playing another match this league. So the record doesn't matter a whole lot, but I'll type the 4-1 up there because it looks cool. 4-1, woo! All right, so Lurrus of the Dream Den, a clear shiner. We played against Big Mana 3 times, and we beat them twice. I don't think it was because of the Lurrus, but the Lurrus definitely contributed. There was a game where, versus the Red-Green Titan player, I was able to get above 18 life, which is that critical threshold where we can't just die to a 7-land Scape Shift. It insulated us versus that scenario, but it didn't end up coming up. So had that been the route the opponent was going, Lurrus would have been pretty key there. The one copy of Assassin's Trophy, I don't know that there was an instant where I wanted it over an Abrupt Decay. Actually, that's a lie. In our first game of our last match, we were able to Assassin's Trophy an opponent while we were on the draw to break up the Tron, and then on the following turn we were able to Field of Ruin, and then on the following turn we were able to Liliana to pressure the hand. Then on the following turn after that, we were able to play a creature to actually pressure them to make sure they couldn't have enough time to reassemble Tron. I still don't think Assassin's Trophy is adequate for disrupting Tron. The Tron mana base is just way too consistent. But if you can back it up with a whole bunch of other disruption, then it can definitely be a decent step 1 or step 2. The Cling to Dust didn't particularly shine in this league, but again, I think that's just a product of us playing against Big Mana literally 3 times. We had a few very, very close calls versus our turn 1 opponent playing Blue-Red Prowess. We did end up getting there. I can't say that it was a product of Cling to Dust being good. It was just a redraw, I think, once or twice. But it would have been good had we seen it in a few different spots. The Spell Bombs were very nice. Just another cool thing to loop off of the Lurrus. And also just incidentally hit a lot of the graveyard decks that are traditionally bad matchups, i.e. Dredge. I liked the 5 hand disruption spells. I think every single matchup where I wanted to have one on turn 1 or 2, I had one. And then versus the Big Mana, I'm happy that I'm playing 2 Thoughtseizes and 3 Inquisitions as opposed to a split of 4 Inquisition, 1 Thoughtseize. If the field continues to be lots of big mana, I like Thoughtseize. But if it continues to be, if it warps into more aggro, I think I'm gonna want to shift to more Inquisitions or just play a 4-2 split, going up another hand disruption spell completely. Bob, I want to say it was the star of the show, but it really wasn't. It was just a fine 2-drop. When we played versus Eldrazi Tron, it came in pretty big in the top deck war when we were both hellbent. The opponent had an Ensnaring Bridge in play, but Luris also did a pretty good impression of Dark Confidant in that situation as well. Drawing like more than 2 cards on some turns was pretty amazing. The Liliana the Last Hope, we only saw it once and put it into play once. Actually, I think we saw it twice, but it wasn't applicable the second time. And then the one time we had it, and it was good. It was against Blue-Red Prowess in match 1. And it was pretty great there. We actually also saw it versus 8-Rack. That was the second time. It was actually fine versus 8-Rack. It ended up netting us a card after we were able to use the -2 twice. And one of the -2s even bought back a Luris. It wasn't long for the world after we bought it back, but buying it back and getting another card off of it in the form of a Bauble was also nice. So starting a chain like that, especially versus something like 8-Rack, was pretty useful. Never actually saw the Maelstrom Pulse, but not much to say about it. It's just a generic good catch-all. 3 mana, not the most efficient, but still just fine as a potential multi for 1. And then the Cletus was actually very, very good. Cletus stabilized us versus the Blue-Red Prowess deck in game 1, and also was pivotal in gaining some life in, I think, the first or second game versus the 8-Rack player. Like, they had a rack in play, and they were nugging us for 2 or 3 every single turn. But we were able to gain 3 every single turn, so we were kind of negating it that way. I think the sideboard was probably pretty strong. I'm not playing Ashiok, which I think this deck could benefit from 1 or 2 copies of those. I like second Kalitas just because when Kalitas is really good, it's really good, and when it's fine versus like mid-range and stuff, like it's still something you really want. I didn't really get to bring in the tireless trackers, but that's probably because we played against big mana 3 times and aggro once and 8-Rack, and against none. You don't really want that card advantage threat versus any of those, except for obviously 8-Rack because you want to be drawing cards. Yeah, we played the tracker only versus 8-Rack, I think, and it did very well there when I had it. Bitter Blossom actually again overperformed. It was the sole reason I won at least 1 game, and it also had us in the fight versus Red Green Titan. We had it on turn 2 and was kind of able to just punch and jab side to side while Bitter Blossom did all the work for us. We ended up being one turn's worth of attacks short, but still it was pretty impressive. And the Plague Engineers we didn't actually get to see, but we brought them in versus only Eldrazi Tron. And the Brutalities were great. We brought them in versus Prowess, and they were fine. We brought like 1 in versus the 8-Rack opponent. We brought them in versus the Red-Green Titan player because we were able to take their ramp spells. And then Damping Sphere, we played against Tron twice. One of them was Eldrazi Tron, so we didn't bring in the spheres. But they would have been very good versus our traditional Tron opponent. We just didn't see them. And then I guess the last 4 things to talk about are the 2 Fulminator and the 2 Choke. We didn't face any of the Uro blue decks that the Choke would have been good against. We did bring it in against versus the Red Green Titan player because they play the Dryad of the Illusory Grove, and like the idea was maybe we could get them if they tap out for a bunch of stuff and everything they have is an island. But even in that case, we're kind of stalemating the board. We're reserving ourselves to not attack into their Dryad because they could just block with the Dryad and then our Choke is turned off. So the idea there was we could Alpha Strike for lethal or nearly lethal in 1 turn. That never ended up coming up. So I think it would have been great if we played against the blue deck and had the Choke, but that just wasn't the case this league. And then the Fulminators were actually very good. We played against Big Mana 3 times. Again, I'll say it again. Fulminator just really great against them. Obviously, being Rock and not having access to the red spells is kind of unfortunate. But because like we saw that our activation on Fulminator Mage was able to get Veil of Summered. But I cast the Fulminator on my second main, and then I activated the Fulminator on my opponent's upkeep, so as they would not draw a card since I hadn't casted a black spell yet that turn. So I mean, it still counters the Fulminator, but at least they don't get the card off of it. So I mean, we still 1-for-1 it and need a mana for a turn, but not actually getting to kill a land through a Veil of Summer does feel pretty bad. So that I feel like that's a pretty big detraction from not getting to play something like Pillage. I mean, that said, the Field of Ruins are also an additional hedge versus the decks that we want Fulminator against, like Tron. And the Field of Ruins were pretty good this league. I think 3 is a pretty good number. I saw it pretty much every single time I wanted to, and it never. I think once it gave me a sweat in terms of not having my colors. Like I had like an Overgrown Tomb Field of Ruin hand, but then I drew a Booming Marsh. I think that was match 3 or 4. But it never actually ended up hurting me in terms of it being a colorless land. So I felt that was pretty sweet. And then I like 3 Mishra's Baubles just because I don't really have room for a 4th one. And I playing 23 lands. I already wouldn't mind going up to a 24th land. But 23 I think is kind of okay with 3 0-mana redraws and some Spellbombs and Cling to Dust as 1-mana redraws. Not a Spellbomb, kind of a 2-mana redraw, but ideally we don't use them as redraws. They're actual utility for things like Lurrus and just fighting the opponent in the case of Cling. But I think 23 lands was pretty fine. We missed our 3rd land drop I think only 1 or 2 times this league. So I like this configuration. I think what I would change moving forward if I do another league at some point, which I think I will, and this was a load of fun. We got a 4-1. I think I think I would try to include some Ashioks in the sideboard, and I think I'm going to try to squeeze in a 24th land somewhere. Not entirely sure yet. It's possible this Liliana Last Hope isn't good enough, but we also just played against big mana a lot, so that's not really where it shines. Like, we play against anything creature related or aggro related, it could be pretty good. Like, we played against Izzet Prowess once, and it was fine there because it was shrinking their threats and buying back the stuff that we wanted that mattered. But yeah, that's what I probably would change. I would definitely tweak the sideboard the ways that I mentioned, and then try to squeeze another land in here. Not sure where it would be, but that is later's problem, because it is really late and I would like to go to sleep. Question in the chat is, what do you think about Nighthawk Scavenger? Could be a thing for Rockjohn. Is that the new X3? It goes based off of types in your opponent's yard. It's got like Death Touch and Lifelink and stuff. It's like the new Vampire Nighthawk, right? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that. Honestly, I don't think it's gonna be good enough. Reason being is 3 toughness in Modern is kind of a no-no just because it dies to bolt. And I know like dies to removal is not exactly the best argument, but it dies to the most like common form of removal. That any deck that plays removal is usually playing 4 lightning bolts, and just dying to just the most generic removal spell that anyone can think of feels pretty bad. Like if it were something like Dark Confidant, where it has the potential at least of winning the game on its own, then fine. And additionally, Dark Confidant costs an entire mana less. But if you're gonna spend 3 mana on something with 3 toughness that has even the potential of just dying, I don't think it's worth it. It's too much. I think it's too much of a tempo loss to cast a 3 mana spell and have your opponent spend 1 mana to easily kill it. But again, dies to removal not necessarily a good argument. I do think dies to the most common removal is a good argument, at least in terms of Modern, where the most common removal is ridiculously common. Like literally every deck that plays removal is playing almost 4 lightning bolts. And even Izzet Prowess, like they play 4 lightning bolts. Like even the burn decks, even the aggro decks, like the burn decks where it'd be good, like they can kill it too, right? And the opponent, it only counts types based on your opponent's graveyard, which makes it even worse, I think. Like, ideally, in an ideal scenario, it'll be like 4 or 5 power, but I don't even know that it's going to be that high that often. I think it would be, like, if you're playing against Burn and it's in your sideboard, you're going to bring it in. But I think the odds that it lives and takes over the game are on the low end. Now, if you could figure out how to leverage it to, like, get the opponent's hand empty, and then stick it and hope you can just, like, dodge a kill spell for a turn, then sure. Like, if you can plus and get the opponent hellbent with Liliana, and then stick it so they have to top deck immediately, or use, like, gain 4, then yeah, fine. But, I mean, at that rate, you can have anything be good, like Kalitas. And Kalitas does cost more than it, but it has 4 toughness, which is kind of the magic number. I mean, push is gonna hit everything, right? So that's not really a consideration. But I think if you can avoid getting hit by lightning bolt, then it's a pretty big pretty big bonus is the word I'm looking for. Like I just really don't want to be in the camp of playing something that costs 3 mana and the opponent spends 1 mana to kill it. That's not where I would want to be. But I'm gonna wrap up this recording. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. If you're watching on Twitch currently, you can find my YouTube information at the bottom of your screen. Likewise, if you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, you can find my Twitch information also at the bottom of your screen. And something new that I've done is I've added my Twitter handle. I'll be putting updates up on there for if I'm planning on streaming, which is usually the case. But some nights I feel like taking off, or I just have other things to do. So you can follow me there if you'd like, for random updates and funny memes that I feel like retweeting. So until next time, have a good one.